back and talk about the protests and the illegals and everything with ICE that's going on, because I have a big problem with what these P agitators, the left, these liberal lunatics, the DNC, Democrats, politicians, and everyone else in between that are pro illegals, they are now using children, right, to push their cause. Now, I want to play this here.
By the way, that was a tactic in the civil rights era, too, and I always thought it was detestable. Every time I read up on it, as a young man, I was embarrassed. Why are these people taking these children out here to be brutalized to make a point? They should be protected, not done that way. But see, that's what they do.
But you know, they did that in South Africa as well.
I know.
With those,
and it was detestable.
Those kids were shot down.
Yes, and they did that in America too.
So, and that's what they're trying to do. Not to that degree, because listen, during those times, the society that it was vicious. You know, this is why when people
you don't have to tell me.
Well, yeah, that's your generation, and that's what I'm saying. I didn't experience that.
I was 5 years old, and I had a small Coca-Cola bottle perched on my knee, and I was holding it. My mother had asked me to handle it. She was digging in the glove compartment in the front seat of our DeSoto. I was sitting in the back. We were passing one of those sundown towns. Some folk took a shot at my old man who was driving. They didn't lead him enough. The bullet goes through the left rear passenger door in the back. It's the bottle on my knee. Coke went everywhere. I thought my mother was going to be mad because she loved her Cokes, and 2 more bullets went into the trunk of the car.
Right.
But it was cool. I was excited. I said, oh, wow, a war, they're shooting at us. You know, that wasn't long after World War II.
But then I would say even your father generation had it worse than you.
Oh, yes, they did.
And then his father. So
yes, they did.
And what I will
it's gotten better, but I'm just saying, you know, let's take it proportionately. It's an incremental thing, and it doesn't do any good when you act in a fashion that justifies some of the bigotry and prejudice. Like, would you want one of those folk living next to you that is making where you live in an urban area a hellhole where it's filled with theft and death? Would you want one of those people living next to you? See, that's the type of attitude it goes through. Be peaceful. And then, see, the Democratic Party, they say it's unfair because black folk always engage in crime and they shoplift, and it's unfair to push the laws. And that's one of the reasons they say we should let the illegals do what they do, because, you see, if we enforce the law against the illegals, you might enforce it against black folk. We are law-abiding, and when some clown comes up with trying to claim that we are generically not, he's got the wrong approach.
So now what they're doing with the kids, there are high schools, just the board of education in Sacramento and other California school districts sent letters to school last week to allow the kids to leave school early, half day, so that they could go out and protest.
Hey, that's ridiculous.
Right. So students didn't organize this. This is the Board of Education.
That's ridiculous.
Instructing kids leave school and go protest without parents' consent. Kids, whether they care or not, and you are literally trying to indoctrinate, like with the video I'm about to play here, indoctrinate little kids in daycare with this illegal anti-ICE BS.
This is a bunch of unprincipled, low-life scoundrels.
So this video
that's what we're talking about. They're manipulating the system. It's like you may have a right to do something, but it doesn't mean you should exercise that right because it's impolite, it's boorish, it's lame, it's stupid, it's dysfunctional, and you want to go ahead and do it. You do not teach children this kind of message. Not for this. not to go out and say, hey, we got to promote breaking the law. This isn't something where it has got discrimination written all over it because of ethnicity. It has nothing to do with it.
Right.
It's got to do, you broke the law, you're trespassing in the country, and you're trying to say, oh, open your front door where you live. Don't lock it.
That was last week with high schoolers. So this video here is preschools, and these are the preschool teachers indoctrinating kids. Let me just play.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Canton. I am the director here at the Chloe Day School here in Harlem, New York. As today is a national day of protest for all the violent things that we're seeing happening across our city. Here at the Chloe Day School, we learn about service and acts of service from Martin Luther King. And so to end our month of service, it's too cold outside for us to go outside and protest. Our teachers cannot walk off the job and leave our children unsupervised. So today, we decided in solidarity, we will support all those who are out protesting against the violence that we see and the harm that we see happening to our friends. So some of our friends are going to share how they feel about what's happening and what they want to see happen in our government to change the harm that we see. So Sahad, how do you feel about what's happening?
I feel all of it.
Right, and how do you feel? What did you tell us earlier?
I feel angry.
Because you don't like to see what?
I don't like to see people are hurt or taken away from their family.
Right.
How does he know anybody is being taken away from their families?
He's being brainwashed. A child. This is despicable. Again, this is this thing of, it's okay, it's crime, so let's support the criminals.
Right.
What in the hell? You don't do that in an ordered society. Anybody's society, anywhere in the world.
So, it's about...
And by the way, how about if we instituted a program to fire every one of these jackasses masquerading as a school teacher, and we went in and got a hold of the children and started propagandizing them to fire their dumbass teachers?
What do we want to say? Stop the
Hating.
Right. Okay, and my last three, Faith, Mariama, and Raya, what do we want to tell people?
Enough, stop hurting people.
And what do we want to say as
What
a
if you
school?
wait, stop. Enough is enough. Stop hurting people. Why don't you shut this heifer's ass up right here about trying to get folk to break the law, where they're going to wind up getting more folk killed for no damn purpose except to seduce this country into letting itself be infiltrated by its enemies and those who would harm it, by setting the stage for these children to grow up with no respect for law and order and to make those urban areas where they live even more lawless, filled with more theft and death. That is absolutely absurd. Look at it. Does that make any sense to you?
Right. Let me finish playing.
Shadira, would you like to share your thoughts?
My thoughts are united, we're powerful, our words are strong, kindness is free. Let's do the right thing.
Miss Amy, would you like to share?
Just stop hating and be kind to one another.
Here at the Chloe Day School, we teach love, we teach kindness, and when we work together, we are a better world. Thank you. We're fighting with you, even though we're inside. Have a great evening. God bless.
Why in the hell do they think their city is so damn dangerous to walk the streets of? This bullshit.
And this is the thing. If I was a parent and I sent my child to that school, I would be upset. How dare you, first of all, put my child on camera without my consent, and then have them speak a message that I didn't consent to, and that child can't consent to it. So you are literally telling children what to say. You are filling their heads up with all this negative stuff that the news is putting out there. And a lot of it is, majority of it is nothing but propaganda. That little boy, he's saying he's angry. Why are you angry when you probably have a loving home and loving parents? He has nothing to be angry about. but you're putting this negative things in his mind so that he could be angry at what, 2, 3? These kids are not even 5 yet.
That's how the Nazis got so many loyal stormtroopers, by getting to them when they were in elementary school. The Nazi youth movement. That's what they're doing here.
Right.
The freak movement.
This is sick.
Of course it's sick. And these damn Democrats running around trying to perpetrate this garbage.
And I was trying to find the article. I'll bring that up when I do my show on Wednesday. There is a mother. She's taking action against a school board. I don't know if it's in Minnesota or California, it's somewhere, where she is suing the school board and because you are encouraging my child to go out and protest against something that I don't approve. You're putting kids in harm's way, and you're putting in their head, oh, ICE is bad, anti-ICE, F-ICE, and nobody's not being treated bad. He's deporting people who are not supposed to be here.
This is what drove, back in the 70s and 80s, a whole lot of lawsuits that said you should not be allowed to teach organized religion in a public school because the Jews and the Muslims and the Hindus and the Buddhists got upset with what the Christians were doing. Some of the Christians became alarmed when they reflected that the other Islamic, Jewish, Hindu, and Buddhist followers or practitioners might do to theirs. So they said, hey, wait a minute, what goes around comes around, let's just stop it. And now you pretty much, you can teach about it, but you can't indoctrinate as to any organized religion. So why did they get to indoctrinate about this particular organized cult?
Right.
I mean, and the cult goes along with lawlessness, because you see, if you have law, order, and respect for a lot of things, then what you might want to do, it's okay being freak in your bedroom, gets held up outside the bedroom. So if you want that outside the bedroom to propagandize to get converts and followers, so everybody is like you or a lot like you, and that would supposedly make the problem go away, which it wouldn't, it's the wrong thing to do. You just don't do that. We should not allow the apparatus of governance to be used to propagandize something like this. It's all tied in.
And I was going to save this for Thursday, but I just want to touch on it now because this is new. This is something that we're going to end up talking more and more about anyway. The Medicare fraud in California. So it says Newsom just got exposed for massive Medicare scam. Dr. Oz dropped the hammer. Illegal immigrants to California get free dental vision on Medicare while seniors get nothing. Let's play this clip.
Let's talk about illegal immigrants. So Gavin Newsom was giving us a hard time for threatening the health insurance of illegal immigrants. Just to be very transparent, if you're on Medicare, you don't get free dental, you don't get free vision. You do if you're an illegal immigrant in California.
This is the infuriating part.
So anyway, so you got taxpayers in New Mexico, right, which is a blue state but a poor state, paying extra tax dollars to the federal government that are recycled back into LA to deal with the fraud that I'm talking about. So illegal immigrants, he's mad. We're horrible people. We're Republicans. You have no conscience. You have no heart. As soon as we made it clear we were no longer going to pay for illegal immigrants in California, what did he do? He took them off Med-Cal. Now, he didn't take them off. He came up on the federal side. So in theory, only emergency services are going to get paid for illegal immigrants in California, which is a national law.
And it's reasonable.
Reasonable. Now, we want babies delivered, car accident victims.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, get health care, but not elective hernia surgery, cataracts. You have to be an American citizen who paid into the system to get these. So anyway, so we deal with this. Gavin says we're only going to pay for illegal immigrants through our own state-based system. We've audited him now. This data is coming out this week. We have now found over $1.5 billion of money spent wrongly. We've audited it. They're not even arguing. $1.5 billion from that California charged the federal government for illegal immigrants that they're not allowed to pay charges for. They have to pay for it themselves. He's not happy, but they're paying us because they know we're right. So you're going to see something happen very interesting in California. As soon as the money is being paid by California government officials, they're going to start getting more serious about this. And that's why it's so important for us to say, we're not into this anymore. I'm not going to let taxpayers in Alabama and Mississippi, New Mexico, our poorest states, pay for the fourth largest economy in the world, and they get less. Let's talk about illegal.
Okay. For the last 13 years, I've had an ongoing battle with the state of California that keeps illegally seizing funds of mine, claiming that I owe it for state taxes. I don't. I get it back, but they get to keep it for months and earn interest on it. And I have to pay the cost of lawyer fees and accountants' fees. So they are broke busted. They're selling a bill of goods like that thing about playing reparations in the Bay Area, which was a lie because they didn't have the money to pay for it. And a whole lot of other junk in there, like you get an assessment, mental health assessment. I think the maximum now is over $25,000 a year as a specific assessment to people. So it's getting bad to pay for these programs, which essentially are trying to keep people there so that they don't lose congressional representation that would keep them from pushing their sick agendas on the rest of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's crazy.
I want to play this clip here. This is under a minute.
Doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients. With almost 2,000 hospice agencies, LA County has more than 36 states combined, and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18% of the whole country's home health care billing is coming out of Los Angeles County. How is that possible?
And take a look at this map, a cluster of 287 hospice providers in a 2-mile radius, some in strip malls, unmarked buildings, even a wrecking yard and vacant lot.
All of it is just paperwork. I could fill that out in Kazakhstan if I want and get a hospice license waiting for me.
Doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year.
So this is just a tip of the iceberg, ice pun being the operative word here, of California fraud. And now they're protesting for anti-ICE. Like, come on.
Yeah, come on. That same thing going on in Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee. Same thing going on in Chicago, Illinois. Same thing going on in New York. Same thing going on in Detroit, Michigan. It's criminality. And see, this is big money going to a lot of people because it's not just the people who are at the tip of the spear. It's not just the Somalis. It's these folk that are elected and appointed that are also getting some of the take too.
Right. Now
you become an elected or appointed official to get rich. Really?
And meanwhile, in LA, you have Maxine Waters, wastewater out here protesting with the protesters. And she apparently has like a bodyguard with her because she's so little. Where's she at?
And wasn't she the one talking about break the plate glass windows if there's a business that has a support Trump sign up there, or scratch a car, or break the windows out, or burn something if you didn't like it? Kind of strange, isn't it?
And there she go with her big bodyguard. Ain't nobody paying her no mind. But these people out there, a lot of them are paid protesters.
And BLM got money to organize and provide planning and transportation and communications for these things.
You see how she's just doing a photo op?
Yes. She needs to clean the place up so she doesn't have so many homeless in our district and so many hypodermic needles out there on the sidewalk just laying around.
Yeah, but now they have fraud coming out of Los Angeles with the homeless.
Yes.
That's I'm like,
Yes.
we really gonna have to do a deep dive on Thursday with the fraud in California. And, Minnesota, now California, and yes, they are targeting these blue states, sanctuary cities.
They should, because these blue states formed the template. They drew up the blueprints. So people just watching what they've been doing for the last several years and say, hey, what goes around comes around. It was good enough for them. Let's give them a little payback. Let them see what it feels like. Maybe they won't be so inclined to do it in the future. And wait a minute, wasn't she complaining about ICE agents being masked?
And she got her mask on. Oh, she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to say it's to prevent COVID. And honestly, I'm gonna say something for later. I don't want to deal with Brandon Johnson right now. So yeah, we got to stay on this fraud train. California's up next. Now, I will say this though, because I'm not going to always sit up here and be on the bandwagon of Republicans or Donald Trump, because it's, a couple missteps that I disagree with. And the thing is, listen, if you're going to go after fraud, it has to be across the board, because I am going to do some research on another story out of Mississippi, welfare fraud. And
Jackson, Mississippi, that modeled itself on Memphis, Tennessee. And by the way, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where you see all of the Somalian fraud, they modeled that on Memphis, Tennessee, where we had a lot of fraud about 20 years ago in terms of child care. A lot.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, this is what I wanted to share with kids. This is crazy and pathetic right here. I would be so pissed. What it says here, hundreds of New York City students walk out for anti-ICE protests. Union Square meeting at Columbus Circle, a national shutdown day hit school. So this was nationally.
And see, these folk that they're talking about protecting are bringing these tired ideas over here, and they've been turned loose, so they're used to an oppressive government, and what the Democratic Party is urging sits well.
Here we go. Immigrants built America. F ICE, like, come on. And so again, I bet you majority of these students never even read the Constitution.
I bet they haven't read an ounce of American history or anybody else's history. Look at them. Don't they look kind of
Let's hear
sweetie?
What they're saying. Let's hear what they're saying.
So we're out here to protest in solidarity of what's happening in Minneapolis and what's happening all around the United States. ICE is detaining and kidnapping and deporting U.S. citizens and our neighbors, our families, our friends, and we, the students, don't stand for that. We are standing together against ICE to protest the injustices that are happening in our community and that are violating our rights.
We were in our classes. We came out of our classes right after our period ended, and in between periods left our school as a group together and walked all the way from our school to Union Square right here.
We organized with several other schools in the area and several other schools in the city to come and join us at Union. We all walked out at several different times, and we all came together.
So how is this organized?
So the one at Columbus Circle is organized by LaGuardia High School. LaGuardia and our coalition are combined. We are in contact. We have the same goals. We both want the abolition of ICE and the stop of mass deportation within our communities. They're connected because later there's the large citywide protest at Folly Square where we're all going to meet together.
Why don't they just invite the Chinese in, the North Koreans in, Iran in, Hamas, Al Qaeda, ISIS, etc.? Why don't you just invite them in? Come on in. Why don't you just have a little coffee and donut session for the cartels and the drug dealers? And oh my God, little sweetie ought to love the rapists that are running around loose that are unaccounted for. And with need for that bass in the voice type, with the shades on. He just probably loved those convicted murderers who've been let loose and are running around out there. And when the next 911 comes, they were just little children. If they were born at all when that happened, 2001, September 11th, oh, maybe they need a refresher course. So they've been advocating for all of these people that hate us to come in so they have access.
It's funny because these are the kids born after 9/11.
Yes. Why don't they just go? They need a refresher course. Maybe they'd volunteer to be the targets.
But Judge, you're saying, oh, just invite the Chinese in. They're already here.
Yeah, but I mean, invite them in to go blow something up. They don't need to. They've got more sophisticated methods. They've got ICBMs, submarines, even some aircraft carriers, and a pretty decent Air Force.
Yeah, but what
and a huge army. But I mean, we're talking about the other ones that they can operate through.
We're talking about sleeper cells that are here.
Yeah, that's who they, in other words, the Chinese have a lot of folk they can have operate as proxy.